Hello and welcome to Let's Play the Dishwasher Vampire Smile, a game by Ska Studios. I'm Fiendly, and I'm providing this Let's Play for Seraph's Something Awful thread. This is meant to be a complimentary Let's Play to his co-op run of the game, in which I'll be showing off the solo storyline. And so, let us begin. We start off the game playing as the Dishwasher, protagonist and titular character of the previous game. It's a quick rundown of the game's controls. And this is a flashback to a boss fight from the first game. Because it is a flashback, failure is not an option. And already we find our hero dead. And we've returned as a lethargic Yuki, locked in a small cell, guarded, with no hope of escape, and nothing to do but sleep. This must be one of the nightmares she mentioned. Whatever happened while she was out, it seems to have reinvigorated Yuki, as well as knocked the door and many of the guards' limbs off their hinges. Yuki is left with nothing but her own two hands to defend herself. We're given a tutorial on sparking enemies. An enemy shooting out blue sparks is able to be executed with the B button. There we can see friendly fire is on. Guard with the gun set the other guard to sparking by shooting him, allowing us to execute him. Executed enemies have a higher chance of dropping hearts. Find a fellow prisoner being brutally beaten. Such sadism will not stand. Managed to get that guard's head off. Because we are currently unarmed, we only can attack with the X button. As we gain weapons, we'll earn some Y attacks. For now, though, X is proving to be more than enough. And we're beckoned forward by monitors. Let's see where they lead us. Dead end, so the monitors beckon us back. Before we deal with that gate, let's find our first secret by jumping up and wall running into a hidden alcove, which contains our first bead. Beads are the primary collectible of this game. We'll be seeing what they do a little later on. After another nightmare, we gain access to Yuki's blood warp. An important note is that last line there, which says that it homes in on enemies, in addition to giving us unprecedented freedom of movement and several invincibility frames. After another execution that Yuki cannot take credit for, we'll be performing a great number of executions that she can. There's our first aerial execution, wherein we split a man in half. And with another arm removed, we can advance. Find our first robotic enemies. We have no particular interest in them because they lack blood, but we cannot advance without destroying them. Ones with computer monitors for heads, they shoot missiles, the other ones shoot machine guns. And as we can see, they always have a B prompt whenever we get close to them. This is because they can be executed at any time, whether or not we've done damage to them. Here we have another dead end, where we can pull off a little bit of a trick, running on the ceiling. It's a bit inconsistent to do, and it serves no practical purpose. Another room with robots. This time we don't have to bother with them. We find our first boss, the Jailer. Pronounced with a soft G, as in Job. The Jailer can be overtaken with a persistent flurry of blows, or anytime he does the diving strike attack. Doing enough damage will open him up to a B attack, which is striking his throat repeatedly. And we have wrested his blade conviction from his hands so as to decapitate him. This will give Yuki increased reach with all of her attacks, and slightly increased damage as well. Not that we need it, her newly awakened abilities are at their strongest, and enemies are falling with sometimes a single blow. more robots we don't have to bother with. This brings us to our final hallway of enemies to test our new blade on. These enemies are optional. We could advance past them, but Yuki is filled with bloodlust. And this final foe is very defensive of her life. And gets in a retaliatory strike before becoming the first victim of Conviction's unique execution. Come to the level's true boss, the Warden guarding the escape pods. The Warden has the misfortune of being a big, slow bruiser, which is exactly what you don't want to be if you hope to face Yuki. Like the Jailer, he is easiest to strike when he is plunging into the ground. If we do let our guard down, he can grab us and strike us with a flurry of blows. But as long as we're behind him, he is no threat whatsoever. Now we can land the killing blow. Evisceration. And retaliation. Everything is clean here. That is the title of this music track, which happens to be my favorite in the game. We end with this first chapter with Yuki facing her sire. That they did. We're now given a choice of which character we want to progress the story with. You can play as the Dishwasher from the first game, but we're going to continue as Yuki.